I want to introduce myself. I'm Jennifer. This is Alicia. We're both therapists. I'm an occupational therapy assistant, and she's a physical therapy assistant. And we both co-own Fight for Your Right. We're going to start off with today with an introduction to micrographia. As most of you know, goals of today's presentation is what is micrographia, how posture, grip, and position affect your handwriting, and practice. We're actually going to do some exercises. So what is micrographia? Micrographia literally means small handwriting. Micro for small, graphia for handwriting. And a person with micrographia makes unusually small letters and writes words very close together. This handwriting usually looks cramped and is hard to read. Some people with micrographia find that their handwriting gets smaller and smaller the longer that they write. So they may start out big, but then their handwriting gets smaller as they go. Micrographia is often one of the first symptoms of Parkinson's disease. It's one of the top 5. A study of 68 men with Parkinson's found that almost half experienced micrographia. Micrographia appears to be closely correlated with both hypophonia, soft, quiet speech, and bradykinesia, which is slow movement, 2 common symptoms of Parkinson's. And as you see over there on the side, that's okay, the handwriting was very small and cramped. So there's types of micrographia. There's 2 common types of micrographia: constant or consistent micrographia and progressive micrographia. In constant micrographia, the handwriting is consistently small within a sentence. In progressive micrographia, the patient's handwriting gradually becomes smaller as they write, starts bigger, gets smaller as they go. And according to research, constant micrographia is a direct result of the improper function of the basal ganglia. In progressive micrographia, connectivity in other parts of the brain, such as the cerebellum and cortex, is involved. Yep, sorry. How many of you in here experience micrographia? Wow, okay. So the management of micrographia, how do we take care of it? It manifests differently among patients. Some may have time periods where micrographia may be more or less pronounced, such as if you have tremors in your hands. A lot of times the micrographia can be worse than if you did not have tremors in your hands. Practice, practice, practice. It's recommended that patients practice at least 1 page of writing every day. An occupational therapist can evaluate and suggest adjustments that improve the patient's writing ability. Some modifications. Do any of you have any types of adaptive equipment that you use for your handwriting at home? Does anybody have like a weighted pen, grips on your pen, anything like that? Do you have it? You got a grip. It doesn't help. Okay. Well, we've got other things. Yes, we have a lot of other things that we use in our practice other than the grip. We use weights in our practice. We use grips, posture. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, the fat pens, the ones that are bigger at the bottom. And we try that out with each individual person whenever we do our workshops. The use of a weighted pen with a rubber grip to overcome tremors and provide a better grasp, and a non-slip mat, because if you do have the tremors or even small tremors, the paper may move while you're trying to write. And if the paper's trying to move while you're writing, then it makes it even more difficult to do that. Modifications continued. I love that cat. She just put that cat in there just to have a cat in there. I think it's adorable. Paying attention. Yes, a weighted cat. There you go. I like that. He can hold the page still while you're writing, right? Great. We need the cat. We need a cat. So yeah, we'll put that on our things to do. Paying attention to posture while writing is very important. Writing in big letters, as small movements are more difficult. Exaggerated writing with big strokes can be helpful. And I don't know if any of you taken the LSVT big class, big and loud, but that's something that they focus on also, is big movements. So helpful tips: avoiding cursive writing and trying printing instead. And then relaxation and stretching exercises for the upper body can help relieve some tension and improve your handwriting. Does anybody ever feel rushed to get things done whenever you're writing? Like say in the doctor's office, you feel like you have to get all this paperwork done because I have an appointment in 15 minutes, right? So then your handwriting suffers for that too. And then examples of micrographia. So this is Parkinson's disease off handwriting. This is whenever the medication is wearing off, your medication is wearing off. And this is Parkinson's disease on handwriting. This is whenever your medication is at its best. As you can see, the smaller the handwriting whenever the medication's wearing off, and then better whenever the medication is at its optimal time. And then how therapy assesses micrographia. So we're going to look at posture. We're going to look at your tremors. We're going to look at your pinch and your grip, motor coordination, and sample handwriting tasks. Those are the things that we're going to look at whenever we do our workshop. And then adaptive writing equipment. As you see, we do not have this, but we have everything else. And all the equipment that, I'm sorry. Yes, it's a weighted glove. All the equipment that we do in our workshops is bought at either the Dollar Tree or Amazon. We wanted to make our workshops affordable for everyone. We researched, whenever Alicia came to me, she does a Parkinson's support group in Manatee County. And when she came to me, she's like, we need to find something. People were complaining about their handwriting. And with the two of us being therapists, she works at Blake Hospital, she works at Home Health, and then she also does Senior Living Selections, which is placement agency. And then I work at Encompass Rehab, just down the street. We came together and we're like, we need to figure something out for these people and their handwriting. What can we do? So we started researching, where can we find something that we could bring to the area? I looked far and wide. I looked in Europe. I looked in the United States, and the only one that we found was in Massachusetts, one workshop that dealt specifically with micrographia, and it was so very expensive. We tried to get information on it. They wouldn't even give us any information unless we had Parkinson's disease ourselves. They said that we could be an ambassador for them, but that they wouldn't allow us to really find out what they were doing to bring it to Florida. So we decided, what the heck? She's a PTA. I'm a COTA. Let's do this. We can do this. So we're going to switch. I'm going to turn this off and we're going to do some exercise. Are you guys ready for some exercise? Awesome.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. All right. So like Jen said, my name's Alicia. I have worked with Parkinson's for 10 years. I have been in the industry with acute care at Blake Hospital. I have done home health. I have done outpatient. One of the very first places I worked, I was certified in the big and loud at an outpatient I worked at in Sun City. So basically from the beginning of my PTA career, I got to work with Parkinson's and I have a true passion for it. So I absolutely love what we're doing. I am going to run through some exercises. So everybody's going to get involved. I want to see everybody working on this. So the first warm-up exercise we're going to do is we're going to do flick our fingers. So one at a time. So big movements, one at a time. One finger at a time. Good. Let's do a couple more. Good. Now we're going to touch our fingertips to the thumb. So you're going to alternate and slow, big movements with this. Everybody looks great. Looks like you've done this before. And hopefully everybody who's watching via Zoom are also doing these exercises. slow and big. Good. All right, rest. Everybody take a rest. Bring those arms down. Now we are going to do wrist circles. So let's put our hands out. We're going to do wrist circles. It doesn't matter what direction you go because we will switch and we will do both. Okay, let's switch the other direction and try to really focus on just to have your wrist move. I know it's natural to want to get the whole arm to go, but this idea is to isolate the wrists. Okay, now let's go to the waving. Good. Very good. Everybody looks great. Everyone's isolating. I love it. And again, big movements with this. You should go as far back as you can and as far down. So as we know with Parkinson's, it's about big movement. So even though these are small movements, we can make these small movements big. Okay, and rest. And everybody take a deep breath. And why do we take a deep breath? Anybody have any ideas? You get more oxygen, but it's also when we start working out, the blood gets pumping. Sometimes anxiety pumps and makes everything, we get the tremors sometimes. So it's really good to help take a deep breath, calm down, come back to neutral, and then start again. So our next one, we're doing palm up, palm down. Okay, let's do 3 more. 1 more. Good. And rest. Deep breath. Good job. All right, next one. We're going to spread our fingers really wide and back together. Spread, back together. Good. And if you ever feel like you're getting tired, especially if you're practicing these, you can also put your hands, we don't have a table in front of you, but you can always put your elbows down on a counter and do it if you're just starting to get fatigued in your arms, or use the chair arms. Exactly. Okay, 2 more. Yeah. So on the next one, we can just do finger lifts. All right, rest. All right, we're going to take that deep breath. So you guys do have chair arms, so they could use the chair arms. So everybody if you have the table in front of you, you can do this. And if you have the chair arms, you can also do this, but you want your palms down and we're going to lift each finger. So the key with this is to isolate each finger, and there are going to be fingers that are harder to lift than others. So you're going to start index and go down all the way to pinky. Yep. And this is much easier to do on a table, but just to give you guys an idea of the exercise. Good. All right. And rest. Good. Deep breath. Okay. Next one, we're going to do alternating finger taps. So what you're going to do is you can use your fingers in front of you, and you're just going to go side to side. So we put these 2 circles up here, right? So how many people can draw 2 circles on a piece of paper or print one out, right? So you can easily draw this or print it out on the computer, and you can practice. You can put 2 fingers up and down. It gives you a mark. It gives you visual feedback. And then you go to your next finger, right? You go from your index to your ring finger and tap within those circles. Yeah, it's hard to do without a circle, but just to give you an idea. And then you would do your index, and then you would do your pinky. It's much harder to do than you would think, right? It's because, and you're working those intrinsic muscles in your hand. What does that help with? Anybody have any idea? handwriting, but your fine motor skills. So that's not just your handwriting, that's your texting, that's your computer, anything that's really using cooking, eating, holding a toothbrush. These are all fine motor skills. So you're improving much more than just your handwriting when you're doing these exercises. Okay. Handwriting practice. So use large lined paper. So I understand that people don't like to write really big, but at the end of the day, does it matter if it's larger if they can read it? Because that's the whole idea. Nobody's going to judge if your handwriting looks bigger than it normally does, whether you're writing a thank you card or a Christmas card, holiday card, whatever that may be. They just want to see it's from you and that you wrote it. So be okay with writing bigger. That's really helpful with Parkinson's. Writing the 2 lines high to make sure it is bigger. And then really focus on keeping the letters the same across the paper. Because it's really easy, as you can see, when we're writing, it gets smaller. So you really have to that's why we avoid cursive, because cursive, when you start going, it's easier to get smaller and smaller. When you're printing, you have more control over each letter and each size. So that's why we really like that. And progress from doing a word all the way to the sentence. So take it one word at a time and don't focus on writing the whole sentence at a time. Okay, so using continuous lines across the page, circular flowing movement. So what tends to happen is we start to get really into just trying to use our hand, right? And our hand shakes. So you can use, when your elbow is stabilizing on the table, it's okay to use your whole arm and not just your wrist. We want to see that because that's going to give you more control. It's going to give you that motion, the back and forth strokes, tracing letters. Like we go to the Dollar Tree and you can go with back to school. So guess what there is? There's a ton of, you can trace the alphabet. There's the big line paper, all these things that you can do to practice. And it's all at the Dollar Tree. They even have dry erase boards that you can do. So if you're tired of, killing trees and you just want to go down to the whiteboard, you can do that too. And also there's handwriting tablets, tracing tablets that you can use. And this is a lot of what we do at the workshop. So at the Dollar Tree, we went and got sleeves. So those little sleeves that we can put the paper in. And our papers look just like the tracing. We have the lines and we also have all the shapes where people can trace. And we put that in the sleeve. They use the dry erase marker and we really focus on them, the posture, how to do it. And this also, they can see how much improvement they get over just doing some of these exercises in the classes. And when they realize they can get it at Dollar Tree, it makes it more manageable, makes it more doable. So we're showing you this so that you realize it's something you can do at home. And these are the shapes. Has anybody had to do this at their neurologist's office? Do a swirl. Anyone? Anyone else? So this is a really common test that they do for Parkinson's. And you'll see that when people are doing the swivel, if you have somebody that's drawing it that doesn't have Parkinson's versus Parkinson's, you can very quickly tell just by doing that test who has Parkinson's. It's a pretty unique test. So back to our tracing activities, right? So everybody makes fun of, like, we've had a couple people in our classes, they're like, I feel like I'm in elementary school. I'm like, well, I had fun in elementary school. So I'm okay with that, but going back to the basics, it's okay. It's okay to trace. It's okay to go over letters. We want this, the things that you can do, right? So you have skilled training, which can be with a occupational physical therapist, coming to our classes, we're going to give you skills to use. Make sure that you're constantly practicing to maintain your progress, because how many people have gone to physical therapy? How many people have gone to PT or OT in here? How many people ring the bell or get their certificate and they're like, I'm going to do my home exercises? Okay. How many people actually do their home exercises? Okay, we got one. That's a win. But it's very easy to get off your routine when you're not doing it. And one thing we talk about in our class is if you do something for 5 minutes a day, and that can include writing and doing some of those exercises, what's 5 minutes of your day? That's 2 advertisements or ads on your TV or a commercial. It's very manageable and you can really see the difference it makes. So we want to make sure that we have given you all the skills and do quick warm-ups. Like when you are going to the doctor's office, normally someone's driving you, right? Or you're with somebody, or once you get to the office, these little exercises we taught you, do that before you get to the doctor's office. We also talk about, you get stressed once you get there. Ask the doctor's office to email it to you. You can work on those at home. That is a great way to practice your handwriting. And then you're not rushed, right? You can do it at your own pace. You'll probably have a stack of 30 papers, do one a day until the appointment 6 months away. You'll have it all done, right? It'll be perfect. Or if you're worried, you say, I don't have a printer, they will mail you. They will mail you all your paperwork. So that's another option. And same thing goes when you're having to do documents for going, whether you're going to a car dealership, whatever that may be. Oh, and Jen, her mom has tremors. And what she ended up doing was her mom got a stamp with her signature and went to the bank so that they knew it was legitimate, saying I'm going to be using this from now on. So that stamp is what she's used for her checks and her documentation. So when it gets really bad, and especially for your signature, that's just another option for you guys. Okay, so moments to excel. We just talked about if you have doctor's papers, work on it at home, paying bills, journaling. I don't know how many people keep diaries or anything anymore, but it's really important. Talk about your day, talk about how you're feeling, talk about what you learned today, write down any helpful tips. Sending a card to a friend. I miss that. I'm a little sad that we have email and internet has made everything so easy. I loved getting a handwritten letter in the mail. And I remember when it was your birthday and you got 20 birthday cards in the mail, and now you get an e-gift card. It's a little different, but I miss those things, and it's a good way to bring that back. And again, the medical forms. Okay, so this is the best part. We get to teach what we love. So we've been doing these classes since February. We provide the hands-on education to help discover what's best for you. So we bring all this adaptive equipment with us. So we have the weights, we have the fat pens, we bring clothespins, we doing paper clips, all these things that you probably have at home. And we show you the best way to use these to help your fine motor skills. We find out what adaptive equipment works for you. We also keep on file, once we have you in our class, what it was. Let's say you used a 5-ounce weight, you used a 10-ounce weight, you didn't like the weight, but you like the fat pen. We keep it all on file. So if after that class you end up needing more help, we're available to do one-on-ones with you. And we have that. So we know at what you are at baseline, because sometimes tremors get worse. Sometimes the disease progresses and we need to make more adaptations to that, but we at least know where you started, and that's what will make it successful. That's Miss Monica. And then this is Jim. So has anybody seen our news story on Bay News 9? Okay, so Jim came to us and he was one of our very first patients. He actually comes to my Parkinson's support group. Him and his wife, they live in New York and they snowbird. And so he has really struggling with his Parkinson's, and he was really upsetting him, his handwriting. So his wife enrolled him in our class and he couldn't write his name. He struggled. It was hard. It took him a good 15 minutes to get J-A-M-E, and it was barely illegible. So he did everything we gave him for 1 month straight. And by the time he did the news story, he wrote his whole name just by doing 5 minutes a day with the stuff that we told him to do. And so we'll go to the news story so you guys can see it. Oh yeah, I don't have it either. So I saw it on the internet.
Welcome back to Spectrum Bay News 9. In your health news, a local company is helping patients affected by Parkinson's disease. According to the National Institutes of Health, about 500,000 Americans are affected by the disease. However, the actual number could be higher because many cases go undiagnosed.
Fight for Your Right offers a program to help people struggling with the disease regain their strength. Spectrum Bay News 9's Julia Hazel shares how it's helped a Manatee County man.
Okay, so we are going to take our clothespins and you're going to pinch and you're going to put each one of them on the edge.
Often, the more you practice, the better you get.
There you go. Perfect.
In this case, James Hogan is doing exercises to help with his handwriting.
Since I've had Parkinson's, I don't write too much.
James was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2022 when he was 74.
My hand's shaking like this, and then it would stop and start again.
As time went on, daily tasks became more difficult, to the point where James could no longer write his name.
My wife, she couldn't make out what I was writing, and it would start curving down in tiny little letters.
But that changed when Alicia Arts came in the picture.
And you're going to trace the shapes. Sound good?
Okay.
Alicia co-founded a company in February called Fight for Your Right. They spell FIGHT, F-I-T-E. It stands for Functional Independence Through Exercise. The company offers classes to help people who have Parkinson's regain their strength to write again.
When he first started, he was really only using just his fingers, and now he's using his whole wrist when he's writing. So I can tell you've been practicing, Jim. You've done a good job.
She worked with Parkinson's patients for about 10 years, including in her job at Blake Hospital running the Parkinson's support group.
So you're starting with your pointer and your middle.
She also uses her background in physical therapy.
Middle finger, big taps. This helps work the fine motor skills and the intrinsic muscles in your hands, which is very important for when you do any type of handwriting.
James takes Alicia's classes once a month, but also practices at home. Now he's achieved something special, writing his name.
It feels better. I just made a little mistake over here.
That's okay. I think this is a pretty big improvement from when you started.
Yes.
Parkinson's patients fight many challenges, but with dedicated help, James is regaining his strength and will continue to fight for his ability to write. In Bradenton, Julia Hazel, Spectrum News.
Perfect. Good job. So, okay, speak it. And go to, get back to the PowerPoint. All right, then next. And then these are just all of the Amazon links. So if you end up taking our class, we will give you everything that we get on Amazon, and then everything at the Dollar Tree. I mean, we don't have a link for that, but you'll know what you've used, and it's pretty easy to get. So we wanted to show everybody like how manageable getting these adaptive equipment could be. And those are our resources. And then that's our business, Fight for Your Right. And we have a big passion behind everything we do, and we would love to be able to help you. This has been something, running the Parkinson's support group, people asked for almost 8 months straight, and I became determined to find something for them. And I'm so happy that we could come together on it. Obviously, we have full-time jobs and we're doing this on the side. We'd love to build it to be something bigger, but you got to start small and build, and that's where we're at. I did want to ask everybody who in here lives in Sarasota. Okay, how many people in Bradenton? Okay, how about Parrish? Anybody? Anybody in Ellington or Venice? Okay. All right, did I cover everybody? Did I miss anyone? Okay, so if you are in the Bradenton area, or if you're able to get over there, we have an incredibly successful support group, and I run the group every month. We have a sponsor. The sponsor provides lunch for our group, and then we have a speaker. So on our upcoming meeting that we have In-Home Senior Fitness is our sponsor. They actually come and do physical therapy at the home. And then we also have Thrive Yoga. She's a yoga instructor, and she's going to come and talk about how yoga and Parkinson's go hand in hand and ways to continue to improve mobility through yoga. So every month we've done a year and a half so far. We haven't repeated any speakers. So we really do a good job with that. And we have about 30 consistent people that show up every month. And we have high functioning, low functioning. We have family caregivers. If you haven't checked out our group, I would love for you guys to come check it out. If you have any questions about the group, I would be happy to give you information. And I will leave my cards and with my cell phone so anybody can reach me. But if you can go to that group, it is going to be, the next one is Tuesday, the 26th. It's the fourth Tuesday. Fourth Tuesday of every month, except in November and December because of the holidays. So I make it's the week before, but I can get the flyers for everybody and I can leave the flyers here for anybody who's interested. And then there's a QR code to register. You can go on the website and link, or my cell phone number's on there and I can manually register you as well. It's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We normally are done around 12:30, but in case for people want to ask questions, I always keep the room for about 2 hours. Recently, we were at Villas of Hollybrook on 59th. We hope to be back at Freedom Village behind Blake Hospital once their construction's done, because the parking's a little bit better than at Villas of Hollybrook. That's the biggest challenge we have right now. But, we'd love to have you. I'm here for any Parkinson's resources that you may need. If I can't help you, I will find somebody who can. We are super passionate about this. So we have a sign-up sheet. It's back here. So if you guys are interested in doing a class for us to come here to Parkinson's Place, please register so we know that would be something that you guys would be interested in. But thank you guys so much for your time. I'm here to answer any questions, but that's it for us. Yeah. Thank you. Sure.
You mentioned that cursive is more.
Yes. It's because it's a continuous movement. So when you're printing, you have control of each line of the letter. With cursive, you keep going, right? And that there's rhythm to it, but the rhythm gets smaller. Yeah.
Cursive, which all are losing cursive in our society. But if you want to work on cursive, we can work on, but we're going to start from the basics. We're going to start from doing the
printing
first.
And you can do cursive, but the thing with the cursive is you have to keep it big still, right? So we talked about using those 2 lines, and you'll notice we have plenty of people who still at the end of our class practice their signature in cursive. We have them do it print, and then we also have a cursive at the end, and even their cursive was better. Their signature was better after the hour class. So you can definitely see a difference. It's just harder to maintain. A signature, okay, but if you're trying to do a whole letter in cursive, that's where it gets away from you a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You have 30 seconds. No, it's not. Absolutely. I can understand that.
Fair for anybody, not just those with Parkinson's. Even I have a hard time getting the code and then putting it in. So I don't think that's fair for a company to expect you to do it in 30 seconds. Makes you nervous. They have to send me 3 codes before I get it. Just, I do the same thing. First of all, there's not enough space. There's not enough space. Things are getting smaller, and my handwriting doesn't get any smaller. So, and if you have a long name, like my name is Jennifer Hedgepeth, I've got 8 letters, and I'm not going to fit that all in a line, So, in that instance, yeah, I mean.
That's really all you can. I mean, if you were to look at most of my signatures on any of the tablets, it's like a squiggle. Nobody would know it's my name or just initials. Yep. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Right. And the other thing to think about is obviously everybody is on PT and OT, they really focus on the ADLs. They don't get to really focus as much on the fine motor skills and the writing and everything that goes into it. So people are like, well, why can't they do this in OT? Well, they can, but they only have so much time on the script to work with you. So they have to make sure you can do the basics. You need to be able to bathe. You need to be able to dress. You need to be able to do your hair. You need to be able to do functional things. So there's really not enough time in an OT script or even a PT script. Yes.
Injury. So it's really about finding a program like ours that can really specifically hone in on writing. That's all we're doing. So that's the benefit of just having a workshop just for
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Yep. Yeah, sure. Villas of Hollybrook on 59th in Bradenton. And it's right near Blake Hospital. So 59th. And it's 11 a.m. to 1. I will go and grab some flyers and bring them in.
turn left on 59th off of Manatee, and it's probably about a half mile down the road.
Yep. And I can also, I have it where I can text it to you too, if that's easier, send you the link. So anybody who wants that information, come up to me after, and I'm happy to do that for you guys. Anything else? Any other? So if you guys do the class here, there's not going to be a cost for it. Parkinson's Place will cover it. We do one-on-ones, and that would have a cost. We do $50 for 30 minutes, and we'll either go to your house and do it, or we can do it via Zoom, depending on what the situation is. But our intro class is out in the community. We've made it's only $25. So we tried to make it so that it's affordable for people to go. If they, we figure a lot of doctors have $20 to $30 copays. So we're hoping that you can take some of that and invest it in yourself, but also not break the bank. Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having us here, and I hope we are helpful. And please sign up if you're interested.